What do you guys want to talk about?
Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
Throwdown Nation, we are live. It is a Sunday night. We are rolling on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter/X, on Facebook, and on Twitch. It is episode 168 of the Throwdown. I'm your host, Matt, and tonight we are throwing down with a legend of the business.
Oh, I love that.
A guy who has wrestled about everywhere one can wrestle, and a guy who is also fresh off of his first experience competing in Power Slap over in Abu Dhabi. The Outlandish, Zicky Dice. How you doing tonight, Zicky?
Matt, it's such a pleasure to be here. Listen, I've had better days, but I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling better. We get this energy. There's this feeling, and there's a word for it. It's at the tip of my tongue. Outlandish. But hopefully this is not your last episode, because things with Zicky tend to get a little outlandish sometimes, and I don't want to get you banned. We're streaming. It sounds like we're streaming all around the world right now, and the last thing I want to do is get you canceled. So I promise you, Matt, I will be on my best behavior.
Awesome. Yeah, buddy. But you know, the thing that's interesting is the guy that you competed against in Power Slap, you know, Marty Casaus, he is also a previous guest on the Throwdown. He was on a while back, and
you know,
so
you got together before the slap. Then I could have picked your brain a little bit and got a little bit more insight. Let me tell you, I'm recovering now. I do got a nice little shiner here. It's not as bad, but your buddy Marty that you had on the show gave me a broken orbital. I have 2 fractures in my sinus and a fracture in my jawline. So I'm dealing with 4 fractures right now as we speak. Today's the best I felt, and I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. Me and Marty, let me correct myself. Marty and I spoke on the phone today, and we were quite honest with each other. Man, there's so much to talk about here. Okay, let's just end wrestling. Okay, when you injure someone, it's your duty to either go to the hospital with them, check up on them. And Marty's been doing that the whole time since the slap fight. And I'm very grateful for that. You know, I couldn't imagine debuting against someone else. I'm glad that my debut was against Marty the Moth.
Marty's good people.
He's very, very big heart, and I'll tell you this: very big neck, very big head, very big jawline. I tried my absolute hardest, and that's what we talked about today, was knocking each other out. We went 3 for 3 all 3 rounds. It came down to judge's decision. Marty did get the victory, but we went to war. And when I'm telling you, I tried to, with all of my might, I slapped that dude with everything that I had, and he laughed in my face. Let me tell you that. You know, that will get to your psyche a little bit. That will get to your head. But he, you know, he called and checked up, and I'm very grateful. There's been a lot of debate lately about a handful of pro wrestlers joining Power Slap, and you know, Power Slap wouldn't have to bring us in if these other slappers were doing their job. They're just not entertaining. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you, but that's why they brought us in. You know, we talk trash. We look good. We don't cave in front of cameras and lights. That's where we thrive. So
exactly,
you know, and I did a showing. I you know, and I made sure to stand out, and that's what Zicky loves to do best. And I mean, I also got to ride a camel. When else am I going to have the opportunity to ride a camel, Matt? You know, Abu Dhabi, baby.
I know. I saw the footage of that, and that had to be an amazing, once in a lifetime type of experience. You know,
brother,
so something you got to suck the marrow out of the bone.
And you know what's crazy about that is here I am hanging out all week with my slap opponent and his wife, sharing meals, riding camels together, and then you know Friday we went to war. That camel experience, though, the place was called, I believe, Aladdin Adventures. It was about an hour out from the city. You go into the dunes. The guy pulls over. He lets his air out of the tires. And when I tell you this guy was trying to flip his vehicle on the dunes, he was. It was an incredible experience. Took us by the camel farm, and then out of nowhere, there's this oasis in the middle of nowhere. And we saw some belly dancers. There was a fire show. We had some local cooking. We had some lamb and some chicken, and it was incredible. And then there was a part of the evening where they turn off all the lights and they let you stargaze, and you're in the middle of the desert and there's not a light for miles, kilometers. And it was just a beautiful experience, and very grateful for UFC and Power Slap bringing us in. But there's a lot of debate going on, and people are calling me stupid for doing this, but I've done a lot worse for less in pro wrestling, I'll be honest with you. And yeah, I may have walked away with some fractures, but I didn't get knocked out and I didn't get knocked on my ass. And I think I proved something to myself and the world. And if you ask me why I wanted to do it personally, you gotta ask every individual why. And, instead of assuming that we're stupid or talking shit to us for some whatever reason, you don't think it's a sport, whatever. But I hate to break it to you, there's a reach of over 20 billion for Power Slap. It is some of the short form content out there. I mean, if you're scrolling and you see two grown men or grown women about to slap each other, who doesn't want to see that?
Exactly.
And the reason I'm there, I'm going to say it to you right here. Just my goal is to get back on weekly television, whether that's getting my job back at TNA or going on somewhere else. And being at Power Slap and being on the roster, what umbrella am I under? I'm under the TKO umbrella.
Yep.
I am one step closer to where I want to be. So before you go and tell me that I'm stupid or this, why don't you ask me why I'm doing what I'm doing? Because I'm one slap away, I'm one promo away, I'm one magic trick away from standing out and moving to where I want to go.
Yep. Strategic moves.
And it was this part of the plan? Absolutely not. If you would have asked me a year ago, 2 years ago, if I'd be Power Slapping, I might have told you to fly a kite. But there comes a point in time, and hell, this is the circus I signed up for the ride. They don't call me Outlandish for nothing. This isn't for everybody. A lot of people don't want to admit. There's a lot of my peers who got the call and they turned it down respectfully. Good on them. But if this isn't for you, that's fine.
Absolutely. So, since we're on the Power Slap topic right now, how did the opportunity come about? How did all of that fall into place?
We got a running joke going that we got a call from an actual clown, which is true. Sin Bodhi got a job over there, and he was Kazarni in WWE, and
right.
And I was one of the first people that he reached out to. He says, there's this opportunity and it's real money. And he goes, and it's not wrestling. And so I'm sitting here going, what the hell? This dude's tied up in circus stuff. I'm like, okay, what's coming next? And then he mentioned Power Slap. And what there was there's a combine. They fly us out to the UFC Apex Center in Las Vegas. And we spent time with the coaches and the commission and really learn the rules, the regulations, and the technique. Because believe it or not, there is a technique to this. There's a lot of indie promotions and slap as well, and in different promotions. But I'm slapping at the best of the best. And even though I'm 0-1, I still didn't get knocked down, and I have an iron jaw. And maybe I like the pain. Who knows? You never know what side of the dice you're going to get. And that Friday night, there was a side that I hadn't seen in a while. And I'm in for it, man. I enjoy it. And people ask me, when you heal up, is this something you're going to do again? Did you learn your lesson? Hell yeah, I'm going to do it again. Hell yeah. I should be ranked with some of those guys. I'm watching some of these other slappers go up there and fight. And it's just like, I can not only, I can change this game. It's in its infancy. Power, and there's no one that can talk like me. There's no one that can walk like me. And hell, there's no one that's got a jaw like me other than Marty. I've come to find out.
Yeah, absolutely. But following y'all's social media while you were over there, I could tell that both you and Marty were just having the time of your life, though. And I was so happy for both of you, just seeing you guys get such a unique and different but adjacent opportunity.
Yes, I was talking to him on the phone today, and on the podium there where you go to slap, there's two cameras actually. So there's a camera under him and a camera under I, and I would love to get that footage because we are talking to each other before we slap each other. He taps me in my face, he gets his measure, and he goes, I love you, pal. And I'm like, love you too. literally right before we smacked the living shit out of each other. But the experience as a whole, man, from the food, the royal family gave us a gift of I forgot the name of the get-ups, like custom made, fit to me. Just the music, the vibe, the culture. It was just a beautiful experience in itself. And again, I'm one step closer to where I want to be, so I have no regrets. Even with whatever's going on in my face, UFC and Power Slap, I am under their care for the next few months, so everything is covered through them. And I tell me one promotion, all right? It one indie promotion where if I took a double super kick to the face and got the same injuries that I have right now, that I'd be taken care of for the whole procedure. Name one.
Exactly.
There's not.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you thankfully you did this with the Cadillac of fight promotion.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes. And talking to Michael Bisping, having him commentate my fight was huge. Meeting the other guys and really put in a lot of work. Learned a lot, and there's nothing like getting up there. And Marty got the slap first, and that will get in your mental, man. Yeah, knowing that I got to go up there and I got to eat one first before anything happens, and anything could have happened. I could have gotten knocked out immediately and gone viral for that. So, yep.
So, shifting the focus over to professional wrestling, we're going to start kind of with the first and the most obvious question, and that is, how long in total have you been wrestling, Zicky?
I'm just over 10 years now. August, I hit 10 years pro wrestling.
Gotcha. And I know the answer to this, but I'll ask it anyway, and that is, who trained you?
I am trained by Seth Rollins and Merrick Brave out of the 3rd graduating class of the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy out in Davenport, Iowa.
Yep. I actually had the pleasure of having Merrick Brave on the show a while back. And,
he's one of the best.
Having him on and having the opportunity to pick his brain, man, that was just...
I keep joking with them. There should definitely be a Zicky Dice statue in the school by now. So every time I talk to Merrick, if you talk to him before I do, ask about the statue, please. It's about time that thing gets put up,
Oh, for sure. So, in terms of the early portions of your wrestling training, what would you say was the most challenging aspect of professional wrestling for you to wrap your mind and body around?
Very good question. The first thing that comes to mind is I wrestled growing up, freestyle, Greco, Roman, and folk style wrestling. I'm a 2-time national wrestling champ. And I had a struggle. There was one night in particular, and my buddy Chris, who is a seamster, would that be the word, over at AEW now. I was training with him, and I had been learned to slam somebody my whole life. So when you're actually going for the slam, like really slamming them, and I had a hard time learning that new language that is pro wrestling. So that was a little difficult transferring over. And Rollins will even tell you I sang in a band, so I met him on tour. That's how it came about to me training at Black and Brave. And he thought I was going to come in with this cocky attitude from the music world, but I really, I sold my car, I sold everything I had just to make it over to wrestling school, because I knew that I wanted to do this. And once I'm all in, I'm all in. I've always been that way. And I think that might have been my biggest hurdle, was relearning the language of what pro wrestling is.
Absolutely. And, aside from Merrick, I've had a number of more recent graduates of Black and Brave on the show. And, let me tell you, that place is something special. I mean, yes. They are really putting out some top-notch talent, and they're one of these schools that obviously care about the type of human beings that they are producing as well. you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
And
mean, still to this day, I can text Rollins right now if I have an issue or anything wrestling related. And it's been that way for the last 10 years. And when I tell you I put in work to earn that man's respect, I put in a lot of work to earn that man's respect. And we can sit here and argue all you want about this, but I hands down think that Seth Rollins is one of the best in the biz to ever do this.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
And I knew when
So
I wanted to break in that I wanted to be trained by the best, you know, and I broke in a little later because of music, but there's been no turning back since. I fly that black and brave flag proud.
absolutely. So, you know, I'm presuming since I mean this has been the case with the majority of people on the show, but I'm predicting that you've been at least a fan of this stuff the majority of your life. Is
Oh
that
yeah.
pretty accurate?
Oh yeah.
So what would you say is your earliest wrestling related memory?
My earliest is I love this question. My earliest memory, my older brother and dad were into pro wrestling. My earliest pro wrestling memory is Coco Beware making his entrance. The bird, the
Nice.
colors, I was hooked immediately. I think that is my earliest wrestling memory is Coco Beware making an entrance.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I've been a fan since I was around 11, and I'm
Mhm.
56 now. So you know, I've been watching and following the business since the early 1980s.
Sweet.
And so you know, my earliest memory was as a kid in Florida watching the old Florida Championship Wrestling with Gordon Soley doing commentary, and
Sweet.
the first feud I remember watching was Dusty Rhodes and Kevin Sullivan.
Sick.
You know,
Sick.
and when you're 11, man, Kevin Sullivan's a scary dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's
You know,
scary
um,
today.
you find out later that the man was actually an absolute sweetheart behind the
Yeah.
scenes, but I mean, you know, he had the whole satanic gimmick going on, and man, you know, that's
Terrifying.
heavy stuff. That's heavy when you're 11.
Yeah, yeah. I'll keep you awake at night.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. So, you know, at what point was there a particular turning point in your fandom where you started to think, you know, I think I could actually do that?
Yes. Shit. I was maybe about 18, 19, and I went to a local wrestling school in the area. And one of the guys there at the time, who I later became friends with, asked me, he goes, "You're going to have to make a choice tonight, music or wrestling." And I was like, "Well, you're not going to like my answer." So I didn't follow through. I waited. We went on, the band was on the road. I sang in a band called Heart to Heart. We were on Pure Noise Records. We were out with Comeback Kid and 4 Years Strong. And I think we were in Nashville, if I'm not mistaken. I was acting kind of heelish on stage, talking shit to the crowd in between, but they were still singing along and vibing with the band. And my buddy John James Ryan pulled me aside. He was the tour manager at the time, and he goes, "I have to talk to you before the night's over." And I thought we were getting in trouble or kicked off the tour or something. And he goes, "I know how much you love pro wrestling." He goes, "You're agile." He goes, "You can talk." He goes, "You have it. You have it." He goes, "I think you should go and become a pro wrestler." And I texted Seth Rollins right there, and I said, "I want you to train me." And he said, "Ha, ha, ha, ha. Are you serious?" And I said, "I'm going to be better than you are one day." And that was 11 years ago. After that tour, I sold everything I had and went to wrestling school. And if it wasn't for that conversation and that night in Nashville, who knows what I'd be doing right now.
Gotcha. You know, we were talking a bit, you know, before we went on the air, and you know, talking a little bit about music and such. You know, is music still a thing for you? Do you still do any
Absolutely.
singing?
I released a song, I believe, geez, was it 2 years ago? A solo Zicky Dice song called Emergency Contact. And I would love to get in the studio and release more music. I was actually just thinking about that before we hopped on to chat. It's definitely a passion of mine, and music and wrestling, it's all under the same circus. Step
Oh, for
right up and
sure.
win a prize, you know. And I do have a passion. I love finding new music, and doesn't matter what genre as long as I can feel it. And that's what's most important to me, right? Is I don't consider myself a musician, a pro wrestler, a power slapper. I'm an emotional salesman. I sell emotion, so I'm a big fan of emotion, and I receive a lot of that with music. So I don't think it's going anywhere, and I would love to start a band maybe out here or something. I just got to find the time. So, but music's not going anywhere. It's got, I'm thankful for a lot of my tours, stories, and road experiences, because that prepared me for this, because it wasn't much different from, and I'm telling you, from the way you talk to promoters to the way you order merchandise to the way you get yourself out there. I mean, it was all pretty much practice for this.
Gotcha. Yeah, being like I said, my two major passions are music and wrestling, and the occasions where I've got a guest who either currently walks or has walked in both worlds is really just a treat. Like a while back, I had a guy on the show named Max Danziger.
Mm-hmm.
He's an indie wrestler down in Orlando, Florida, but he is also the drummer for a band called Set It Off.
I'm familiar with Set It Off. Yeah, Trip Out.
Their drummer is an indie wrestler.
Trip Out.
So, yeah,
it's crazy to see how many of the guys are involved in wrestling. Like I said, very similar type of game. We need to put together a super band or something.
Yeah.
Get us all together.
So aside from singing, do you play any instruments yourself?
I play a little guitar here and there. Yeah, a little guitar, and not as I've been picking it up a little bit more as of late. But we always had an issue finding a vocalist, so I said, "God damn it, I think I got to take the gig."
Gotcha. So, outside of wrestling, what person inspires you the most, and why?
Ooh, Man, that's a tough question. I'm gonna have to say myself. I think
Nothing wrong with that.
Zicky and Nick are two different people, and I think that I continue to surprise myself, good days and bad. And there's seems like a lot more bad than good these days, but we keep pushing. And Zicky's my full-time job, so it has been for the last 5 years. I'm very grateful for that. And the worst thing you can tell me is that I'm lucky, because I've sacrificed so much. So I think I have to continue to remind myself that 8-year-old me thinks I'm the coolest dude in the world. So I guess outside has to be Nick that inspires me to keep going.
Absolutely, man. So, we're mostly a wrestling related show, but we do dabble a little bit into pop culture here and there. And I'm always looking for recommendations. So by any chance, are you watching or listening to anything cool right now?
That new Taylor Swift's pretty good. Same with that new Justin Bieber. It's pretty good stuff. It's pretty good stuff. I did watch a show that I was surprisingly hooked on. I'm not into a lot of those reality shows, but what was it called? $1 Million Secret. Have you seen that?
I have not.
Pretty good show. So it starts off with 12 people. One person has $1 million in their box, and as long as you shut your mouth, you get to keep the money. And they're coming out the season 2 for that, so I was pretty hyped on that. I'm gonna have to dive in and find some more stuff while I recover this broken face, and some. Maybe I'll find some goodies. So if anyone's got any recommendations out there, please send them my way.
Absolutely. And, looking over in the Instagram chat, we've actually got a fair number of people out in the audience. We've got Brianna Franklin. She's actually was on the show not too long ago. She is a trainee right now at the House of Champions down in Orlando, Florida.
Yes, I'm familiar with the House of Champions. Good spot.
And we've also got Jimmy Danger, who is a referee in Australia.
What's up, dude? You got to get me out there, Jimmy Danger. What's going on, man?
And Ring the Bell Photography is in the audience, and I Love Wrestling Figures is in the audience.
Hell yeah. Thank you all for hanging out. Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
So, what is your actual hometown, Zicky?
I am from a town called Orchid, California. It's in the Santa Barbara County. It's about an hour north of Santa Barbara, right on the central coast of California. That's where I'm originally from, born and raised.
Gotcha. And I know that you and I have something in common in that we're both Atlanta guys right now. So
Yes.
what is your favorite thing about Atlanta?
Oh man, the culture, the vibe, man. There's nothing like it. there's nothing like it. Whether you're at a restaurant, at a wrestling show, at a concert, doesn't matter. Atlanta's got its own type of feel, and I love it. I just hit 5 years of calling Atlanta home, and I absolutely love it. So
Good deal. So, they say that the best wrestling personas are usually yourself turned up to 11 or a million or whatever whatever level you want to put it at. And so tell us a bit about in-ring Zicky and kind of compare and contrast him with everyday Nick.
oh man, two of us don't get along. We don't hang out. Nick doesn't want to hang out with Zicky, and Zicky doesn't want to hang out with Nick. Zicky writes checks that Nick can't cash. I'll tell you that. That's my drug of choice, man, is entertainment. And Angus Young used to say that he would literally black out on stage and not remember what really goes on out there. And I kind of feel the same way. Again, I surprise myself time and time again. I have wit like no other. I don't know where I got it from. Maybe being bullied growing up, but I'm pretty witty. And it's nice to be able to get paid to use my wit. So, man, they don't call me Outlandish for nothing. I guess that's how we sum it up. You never know what you're going to get with Outlandish Zicky Dice.
Absolutely. I had heard of you prior to this, but I really got my first exposure to you during your run in TNA, and I was thoroughly entertained.
Thank you.
I mean, there really is nobody quite like you, and I mean that in all sincerity.
That's the truth. I don't think anyone will argue with you on that one. I would love to go back. I didn't have the opportunity to spread my wings and really showcase what I can do solo. I was grateful for my time there. I did everything that I was asked. I went above and beyond. I was even asked to be part of, because of my creativity outside of wrestling, they wanted me to be heavily involved with the rebranding before they went back to TNA. So there was talks about a completely different name change and logo and presentation. And they wanted me to be involved in that. So I took that. I mean, what an honor. I still talk to Tommy Dreamer here and then. And I'd love to go back and really showcase what I can do by myself. We started working on a Zicky Dice documentary that we should be wrapping up sizzle here soon, but we got to sit down with Seth Rollins, and it basically just kind of tells my story about where I'm at right now and how we got here, and the story's yet to be written. So whether that's AEW, WWE, or TNA, the goal is weekly television, and I know that I would absolutely thrive if they let me spread my wings a bit. That's all I need.
Gotcha. So tell us about your very first match. What was it like? How did it go? What were your thoughts?
Very first match was
tell us about the first one.
It was at SCW, Scott County Wrestling, which is the Black and Braves promotion. At the Walcott Coliseum. It was a battle royal, and I had like this like casino pit boss type gimmick, still trying to figure out what Zicky Dice was. And it was just so much fun, man. You train and you're in there with, your group of trainees, and it was so fun. I just remember having the time of my life, and then from there you go on to have like your first singles match, which is quite intimidating, because you go through all this training. You're like, oh shit, I forgot that I got to be a character now at the same time. I really didn't practice that too much. So I'm still learning to this day. If you're not learning something, I think I don't know, maybe you're not doing it right. I don't know. But there's so much to learn. No match is ever perfect. But I mean, I'm living the dream, man. I don't know what else to say.
Well, I completely agree with you. The day you stop learning is the day you stagnate and die.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Might as well hang them up.
Yep. So we've heard about the first one. Now, if you can narrow it down, tell us about your favorite match that you've been a part of.
Oh man, time and time again, we can replay it over and over. Zicky Dice versus Ricky Starks for the NWA Television Championship, where I did pin him 1, 2, 3. Didn't he get himself a nice little new belt? Maybe I can go and get that one. Go get my hands on that one. That's a lot of things. A lot of people forget who I've been in there with and who I've beaten. So, but I think hands down that match, and specifically winning the NWA World's Television Championship, meant a lot to me, because everyone that's held that belt before, what happened to them? They went on to mega stardom, and I think I'm on the right path.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. But I am happy to see Starks having the success he's having.
You and me both. He deserves it. Proud of you, Ricky.
I can't say I'm entirely thrilled with the whole Saints thing, but I mean, but that's neither here nor there. At least he's there and doing
what he loves.
So, this is actually a question that I've been looking forward to asking you. I've asked this on every one of these, and it's just been an interesting, almost 50-50 split. And that is, if you could only be one, would you rather be great in the ring or great on the mic?
Oh, great on the mic. Great on the mic. I mean, that's where I thrive. And that goes back to my point of not letting me spread my wings yet. Give me a live microphone and it's done. It's done. Yeah. I will make sure you remember what I had to say more than any flippity floppity match you'll see out there.
Yep. Love you or hate you, they'll never forget you.
That's right. No shade to the guys, but there's a lot of guys out there that cannot talk. And my God, I hate, and that, that people ask me too, like, okay, have you ever gotten worried about being face to face with someone? And Ricky Starks was actually one of the first ones where I was like, damn, this dude might stump me. He's pretty good on his wits too, and pretty good on his feet. You know what I mean? So that's always exciting too, when you get two competitors that can talk. That makes for great television, baby. Sell me that emotion. That's it. Get me emotionally invested. Make me care.
Yep.
Call each other some names, hurt some feelings, spit on them. I don't care.
Yep. Absolutely. So, what has been your most unusual encounter with a fan? I can tell you've got a story.
This is the first one that comes to mind. All right. There was this gentleman lingering around the merchandise table at a show in some city. We'll leave some parts saved for those involved. And he's like lingering around the merch table, and then he asked me if I wanted a cocaine mixture that he had made. It was like a nasal spray that you put up your nose, and it was like mixed with saline. I was like, no, thanks for offering though, man. That's super cool. I got some shirts though, if you'd like. And he goes, well, my girlfriend really wants to meet you. And I was like, okay. Mind you, this guy was lingering for a good 35, 45 minutes. He was hanging out. I knew he wanted something, and I knew it was more than the drug offer. So his girlfriend comes up and she gives me a hug that I will never forget. I'm surprised she's still not holding on. She did not let go. She like caressed me and and said how much of a pleasure it was meeting me. And then so she walks away, and the gentleman comes up. He uses his little thing real quick, and he goes, so would you like to make love to my girlfriend tonight with me? And I said, excuse me. And he was dead serious, and it all happened that fast. And I think that might be one of the tops. There's some weird encounters I have, and I live for them. When I tell you I love an awkward moment and I live for them, that's one of the first that comes to mind. I politely declined. Thank you for the offer. Had you caught me on a different day, who knows what the outcome would have been? I don't know. Zicky Dice loves his fans. What can I say?
Absolutely. So do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan?
Oh man,
a match that just kind of speaks to you and it never really gets old. It's like comfort food. You just find yourself kind of gravitating back to it.
I love Shane McMahon and Kurt Angle, King of the Ring. I love that match. Very much. Very much. That's one of my go-tos. I also now found watching a lot of old like Mr. Perfect and Ravishing Rick Rude. And different combinations, even just these Saturday night main events they had, where they were just beautiful matches, you know. But Shane and then and Kurt Angle, King of the Ring, is probably one of my top.
Oh yeah. You know, I'm sure this is probably a match that you have seen. But, you know, a match that when I have young wrestlers on the show, a match I always recommend for them to take a look at is from back in 1989, the I Quit match between Ric Flair and Terry Funk at the WCW Clash of the Champions. In my opinion, that match is a masterclass in storytelling.
I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm gonna have to throw that on.
It's on YouTube.
You said 89?
1989. It was one of the old WCW Clash of the Champions. I was in college at the time, and a couple of buddies of mine and I were sitting there watching it, just with our mouths open, just going, "Yeah, we are in the presence of greatness." I mean,
yeah. I mean, that's why I love this stuff, man. You know, that's why I love this stuff. And I love how everyone has a different answer with that question too. You know, it's like there's always one that brought you.
Yeah. So, you know, piggybacking onto that question, and this is another one that I'm interested to hear your perspective on. Having the gift of gab yourself, do you have an all-time favorite promo as a fan?
Oh man. My instinct to go to is Bray. I love anything that Bray was doing. And man, and that's even thinking about all time, you know, in my head. I just, the way that you feel those promos and the connection, you know, and like just the character, it was very unique and stood out. Of course, that and Stone Cold, King of the Ring, you know, it sticks out. So,
yeah, man, the loss of Bray was just, it hurts to this day. I mean, you know, man, probably the most creative mind in the business. I mean, and so much that, you know, unfortunately we'll never get to see. I mean,
one of a kind, man. Rest in peace.
Absolutely. So, in your opinion, you know, excluding yourself, obviously, but who at this moment, who are the best male and best female wrestlers in the world? Who's the best man and who's the best woman?
Man. Woman, I'm going to go with Masha Slamovich. I love Masha. I love everything about the character, the work. I think it's brilliant. Masha for the women. For the men, man, anyone could have this.
Yeah, it's a tough question.
You know, I'm gonna go with Ethan Page, actually.
I will not argue that. I think that guy is an amazing talent, and you know, I'm glad to see, you know, kind of similar to with Starks. I'm glad to see him finally kind of getting
Absolutely.
the respect he deserves. Because
Absolutely. And he's,
man,
yeah, you know, and those that aren't familiar, there's still so much more that he's capable of, and he will not, he won't get stagnant on you. I'll tell you that. He'll find a way to keep you on your toes.
Yep.
I
So
have tough questions here, man. I got to study.
So and this can be present day or past. Who would be a dream opponent? Who would Zicky Dice love to have the opportunity to share a ring with that you haven't had the opportunity to as of yet?
My answer stays the same for this one, and I'm just going to speak it into fruition, and that's Zicky Dice versus Seth Rollins. I mean, the story writes itself.
Oh, for sure.
Teacher versus student, and put us mic to mic with each other and watch what happens. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
No doubt. No doubt. So, what is your personal favorite move? And on the flip side of that, is there a move that you won't do or you would at least rather not do? And that can be giving or receiving.
I mean, you're talking the guy who just got slapped by a grown man 3 times willingly. Let him. I mean, there's not much Zicky Dice won't do. My favorite move is cheating. I love to cheat and win by any means necessary.
Yeah, that works.
You know, as long as something's got to make sense, right? You can't just put something in for the hell of it. I like building up to something, having it make sense, and why it should be there. There's there's very little that I won't do, but that all depends on a few factors. What's the crowd looking like? What are they feeling? Who am I working with? And how much trust is there between us, you know? But I mean, I'm not afraid of shit.
Gotcha. So looking over at the Instagram chat, we've been joined by Zaire, who actually is he is one half of a tag team over in London, England.
Sweet.
They've actually been on the show themselves a while back. They're actually part of a tag team called the Ashes, and actually they met training at Black and Brave.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So another Black and Brave connection.
What's up, fam? Shout out there, fam. What's up? I see you. They've had a lot of graduates now. They're growing, man. They have them out like rabbits.
Absolutely. So, you know, okay, besides the face and the facial fractures, you've been doing this long enough that I'm sure this applies to one degree or another. So I'll ask, you know, obviously, aside from the face, what hurts right now?
Right now, my elbow. I got a permanent injury to my elbow from a match, and I actually, it's a funny story. I had gotten the idea from a Terry Funk match. It was Terry Funk, I think, versus one of the Von Erichs. The bell rings. Terry ducks under a lockup and stays outside of the ring for a full 17 minutes without being touched. And the crowd is going wild, right? They're insane. They're pissed off. You know, everyone's screaming. It had to be the loudest match of the night. And they start counting down 30 seconds, you know, and Terry's being chased around the ring. 10 seconds. He goes in the ring. He trips over the bottom rope. Von Erich gets him, slams him. 1, 2, ding, ding, ding. Time has expired at the 2 count. It was brilliant. And I stole that idea. And the one move that I took, the padding was split and my elbow hit the wood. So I've got a permanent injury from that. That one move that I took from that one match one time. But we had the same reaction. It's all about telling a story. Of course, everyone wants to see me getting my ass whooped. But if I sit there for 15 minutes and seriously do not let this guy touch me, got to commit to the bit, baby. It worked.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
It worked.
Yep,
But
yep.
I got a nice little take me home. It still hurts. So there's like a piece floating around in there. I got some random lower back will hurt every once in a while, but I still got plenty of bumps left on my bump card.
Gotcha. So you actually may have just answered this, but the follow-up question for that is, over the years of doing this, what is the worst bump you have taken? Would it be that, or is there something worse that you've taken?
I took a Spanish fly off of a stage from from Mikey at Party Hard Wrestling. And there was a bunch of chairs on the ground. It was staged at the Nile, the venue, and that one was pretty brutal because I was straight on the concrete floor. Mikey actually had to get surgery on his knee from that, but that was pretty wild. And then there was one time I went through 3 glass panels that were lit on fire with barbed wire. That was pretty wild too. Probably those 2 bumps are the craziest I've taken.
Gotcha. So, what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool in wrestling, specifically indie wrestling?
Oh man, it's so important. And I've been saying this since the MySpace days. That's how, we used to get people to our shows and get word out about the band was posted on your bulletin board. We live in a 15-second world. I hate to break it to you, but if you're not grabbing someone's attention off the bat and staying relevant with it, you're going to get lost in the mix. You see a lot of wrestlers doing well just because of their social media presence. I actually just started streaming on Twitch again. I did have a contract with them for 2 years. I've got a partnership with playfame.com, which is a social casino. So, I mean, Zicky Dice and social casino, come on, baby. So we're back up at twitch.tv/Zicky Dice, but I'm also going to be, especially while recovering, really branching out and pushing whatever it is on social media. I mean, I like doing sketches and other random stuff. Excuse me. I mean, hell, riding camels, just post that in itself. You get to come and live this crazy life with me.
Oh yeah.
So. But it's I mean, if you're not using it, I don't really think you're trying. That's just my personal opinion.
Agreed. So, knowing everything you know at this point in your life, if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Work harder and don't take no for an answer. The best advice I've gotten, and I might misquote it, and I apologize, but it was from Paul Heyman himself. And Paul Heyman told me a no is a yes waiting to be answered. And that's stuck with me since that conversation I've had with him. So I'm a hemorrhoid, baby. I'm not going anywhere. I might disappear for a little while. I'm going to pop right up on that ass, though. You'll see me.
Oh, yeah. So, do you have any pre-show traditions? Any things that you try to do consistently before you walk through the curtain?
I stretch. I'll get a little pump going. I've gotten a lot more comfortable in the locker room over the years, so I do like bullshitting with the boys. But when it's go time, I'll throw the headphones in, put on a little music, and get in the zone. And once I hear my music and walk through the curtain, we're there to work. So I really like taking the moments just to get in the zone and soak it all in. I know there's going to come a point in time where I'm not going to be able to do this. So every chance that I get, I'm thankful for it. So I make sure to soak it in.
Absolutely. So just kind of a quick rundown. What all do you carry in your gear bag? And do you carry anything unique or unusual?
Yeah, there's magic tricks in there. I spit fire, so I got stuff to spit fire. There's mouth coils, hand cannons, decks of cards, random gifts fans give me, random gimmicks the boys drop in the bag that I don't know are there. And and then I did learn from someone recently that it's nice to surprise yourself with snacks in your gear bag. So every once in a while I'll throw snacks in there and forget, get to the show and open up, there'll be a little protein bar, a little something, little gummy bears that I forgot that I put in there. So that's something I recommend trying, surprise snacking yourself.
Nice. So Over the years that you've been doing this, do you have a favorite venue? Is there a venue that's really been special to you that you just really have like a really treasured memory of wrestling in, or are they all kind of the same to you?
Wrestling Keith Lee at AEW here at the Gas South is pretty cool. I really think our championship wrestling from Hollywood shows are special. I like the Tuesday night vibe that we bring to the Improv. Man, everything's so different. I love that punk rock feel, you know, like I really love enjoy wrestling out of Pittsburgh, just that whole vibe, or fest wrestling out in Florida, or oh man, I'm drawing a blank here. Oh shit, they're gonna kill me. WrestleCore out of Vancouver, British Columbia, very cool vibes. Everything's I like different, and I mean that's the best part about this is you get to travel and wrestling's different everywhere you go. Hell, there's some venues here in the sticks of Georgia that I absolutely love, and you'll show up a town middle of nowhere, and there's 800 people paid there ready to watch some wrestling. You know?
Yep.
Love that.
Oh, for sure. So something that we've done in all of these that's just been kind of fun is we've let the current guest pose a question for the next guest. So my previous guest was actually a wrestler, but interestingly enough, from Australia, and so we had to do some creative things in terms of time for the show and everything because she's 14 hours ahead, time wise. But I mentioned that you were the next guest, and so the question that she posed is, who do you want for your next power slap opponent?
Who do I want for my next power slap opponent? Well, if it was up to me, I would like to jump the gun and actually face someone that's pretty high ranked. I think that I surprised myself with my jaw. I did learn from the combine that I had like the third hardest slap in the class that was there, and the second or third strongest neck in the group. So I'd really like to put that to test against someone who's a little bit more veteran and not a pro wrestler. I'm glad that I got to get my feet wet with Marty once again, but I'm sure Marty will say the same. I want to see where I'm ranked at, and there's a few of the boys that are ranked in the heavyweight division. I would hate to have to face them, but at the end of the day, I gotta slap whoever I gotta slap.
Absolutely.
I might have gotten in trouble. By the way. I just got to clear the air. If the commission's watching, if Dana White, Frank, I'm sorry. The Office of Power Slap, I am very, very sorry. After Marty slapped me the first time, I don't know if this is going to make the cut, but I did a magic trick. I actually pulled out the mouth coil because Marty didn't do shit to me. So I wanted to make that a case in point. So if that gets cut out, I want to apologize for doing the magic trick on the stage. I'm sorry, commission. Please don't find me. But you asked Outlandish Zicky Dice to come and play. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So wait, do I get to ask a question for the next guest now?
You do. You do. And, I can go ahead and tell you who the next guest is. It doesn't have to be particular to them, but let me just put something up here on the screen. The next guest tomorrow night, episode 169, 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, is a Texas-based pro wrestler by the name of Watchdog Trent Mercer. He is training out of Lion's Pride in Texas, and he is 1/3 of a faction out there called Obsidian.
All right. Well, here's my question for Trent.
Okay.
Joe Henry breaks it down this way, and I might screw it up, but I'm going to pass it along to Trent. Joe Henry rates himself on. Be careful saying his name. He might pop up and interrupt. We don't want that to happen. Guys everywhere. But he rates himself on a scale of 5 for a few different aspects. And this is my question to you, Trent. If you're self-reflecting at what Trent does and brings to the ring, how do you rate your body, your in-ring work, your commitment. There's a few other things that I'm missing. But just for the sake of it, Trent, if you had something to work on internally, and if you're willing to share that with everybody, what would that be?
I like that.
Yeah. Hell, I'll even do the same. I know what mine needs to be work on, and that's what we're back to doing. So it's just a little way to self-reflect and keep yourself on check, you know, and just the way you present yourself. Think about the whole aspect, you know, the whole package. What could you improve on? That's my question.
I like that. So what are you working on to improve Zicky Dice?
My body, I think. My body. I've got the tattoos to the point where I was lean and mean, but I really want that. I think that might be something that's holding me back, is really amp up. I love the sweets. Let's put the sweets down and really amp up and focus. And I know I can do everything else. So I think if I locked in that body, it's just another reason you can't say no.
Absolutely. So, you know, actually, speaking of that question, you know, knowing that the physical side of this is an important aspect, is there a particular exercise or group of exercises that you feel is most important to keeping Zicky?
I think I got to lift weights and become a beast. You know, I think for me personally, hitting that cardio, making sure I'm getting that in-ring training, because you can train all you want, but there's nothing like actually tossing someone around and having a match. And hell, that means even pacing yourself with your breathing when you make your entrance. You can easily get blown up just hooting and hollering before the match even starts, and then you're screwed, right? So especially with this recovery time that I got, I think that I'm going to get creative and think a little bit and really change shit up a little bit. That's what I think. I think we're going to see a different side of the dice here in the next few months once I recover. And that's gear speaking, persona speaking, and body speaking.
I like it. So we're getting toward the end of things now. So do you, I mean, I guess with the facial injury, you're going to be at least somewhat on the shelf for a bit. But
Yeah,
do you have anything outside of wrestling coming up that you'd like to give some hype to?
Absolutely. If you're looking for some merchandise, look no further. I've started Brain Matter merch, letter N dice, where I can take care of all your merch needs, printing shirts for the boys and girls. Also streaming with playfame.com/@Zicky Dice. Sign up. I'm giving you some free sweepstakes coins that you can redeem for cash prizes. You can catch me streaming on Twitch and making my round. I'm not making my rounds. I'm not going to stay silent. I promise you'll be seeing me. Also, I'm producing Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. So if you see that on your local cable provider, please take a peek at that. That's a show that I work on and produce behind the scenes. And One Fall Wrestling here out of Atlanta. Make sure you keep your eye on them too. So that's pretty much it. Other than that, you'll be seeing me. I'll be hooting and hollering. I'm not going anywhere. I promise you. We're just turning things up a bit.
Absolutely. Well, you know, as far as what we've got coming up here on the Throwdown, like I said, tomorrow night, November 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern, we've got episode 168 with out of Texas watchdog Trent Mercer. And then on Thursday, the 6th at 7 p.m., we've got episode 170. I can't believe we've managed to do 170 of these things.
Kicking ass and taking names, literally, brother.
Well, you know, I'm enjoying the grind.
Yeah, that's it. You get it.
Way. And our guest is actually a Florida-based pro wrestler, the Mad Hatter, Rafael Delgado. And we've actually, right now, we are booked pretty much through the end of this month and starting into December. So we're booked up roughly about 6 weeks out. So, you know, keep an eye on my socials.
Yes.
You know, I try to announce these roughly about a week out. And you know, I'm definitely excited with the growth that the show has undergone in the last year and a half, I guess, that I've been doing these. And you know, for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this on replays and such on the web, thank you for that.
Appreciate you
You know,
all.
if you like what we've got going here, definitely do the old like, comment, share, and subscribe. All of my socials are in my link tree and my Instagram bio. And before we wrap this up, Zicky, do you have any final words?
Hey, follow this outlandish journey I call life at Zicky Dice on all social media platforms. Matt, it's been an absolute pleasure. We're gonna have to do this again, and just
No doubt,
see
man.
where the journey takes us, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. I had a blast, and again, thank you all for tuning in. I look forward to meeting you all in person.
Absolutely. And until tomorrow night at 7 with Watchdog Trent Mercer, be good to each other, love each other, and let's keep throwing.